What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. Today I got a short but important video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys the steps that I use every single morning, every single day, and what I use in my daily trading routine. So it's going to be a simple video, but I'm going to briefly go over every single thing I do, why I do it, and just show you guys simply what I do every day so you guys can implement it and try it out yourself to see what it works. So let's just pretend, let's just go to a point in time. When I wake up in the morning, I wake up at about 8 a.m. EST every single day. Sometimes it's 7:30, but I always want to get on the charts before 8:30. Why do I wait before 8:30? Because I know that majority of the time, Monday through Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. has a lot of news. So if I can anticipate when price is likely to move, that's when I want to trade. So if I can map out when price is likely to have the movement I want, I know when to look for my potential trade setup, so I know the volume will be there. And if my setup is there, that's two confirmations already for why I should be looking for this potential trade setup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, let's just, since this is an example, we're going to go to 8 a.m. So this is right when I woke up. This is when I look at the charts. This will be everything I'm looking at. So the first thing that I would do, I'm going to have a little step for you guys. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, and I think there's about 6 things I'll be showing you guys. So the first thing I do is I'm going to mark up the previous day's agent range. That's the first thing I do. So when I'm marking up the agent range, I come here, I have my indicator. But if you don't want to use your indicator, you can go from about 18 o'clock GMT to 2 in the morning GMT. And you can mark up your agent session. This is what I personally do. And the reason I mark up the agent session is because if you understand how candles move and understand candlestick analysis and understand how the daily range overall moves, you would understand that since the daily range has consolidation, it has points in time of consolidation where you have a point in time when it expands and a point in time where it retraces. If you can identify where the consolidation is, you can then map out an area where price is likely to expand from or retrace to. So if you map out where the agent session is, if you're able to get into a trade in this area at some point in this area, you'll be able to catch a daily expansion if you're on the right side of that trade. If you're on the wrong side of trade, then you'll be having a small stop loss where you'll be able to keep your losses small. So the second thing I do is I mark up my 12 a.m. open. And the reason I mark up the 12 a.m. open is because if I'm bullish, I'm ideally going to be wanting to buy below the 12 a.m. open. So right here, this is 12 a.m. open, right? It's this line. So this is an area where if I'm bullish, I would be wanting to buy below to go higher. And if I'm bearish, I'll be wanting to sell above to go lower. Simple as that. If you're bullish, buy below the 12 a.m. open. And if you're bearish, buy above it. And if you don't get those trade setups, then don't take the trade. But when you do, buy below and sell above, you're able to capitalize on the full expansion if you are on the right side of the trade. And it's something that I do every single morning, and people see me catch trades off it all the time. The next thing I do is I'm going to map out any possible fib setups. And I also, before you even do that, you gotta look at the London session. And I also have a previous video on how to anticipate the daily highs and daily lows. And if you want to watch that video, be my guest. But right here, as you can see, right here at London session, we have that 3 a.m. 3:30 move that pushed below these lows, clearing the liquidity. Here, let me make this a little bit lower. I'm going to leave it like that. But we had this move that moved below before clearing this liquidity. So what does that mean? This already means to me that this is possibly going to be the low of the day. When London session has these moves that trade below or above an old high and then swiftly move the opposite direction, you would understand that there's a likelihood that that low is going to be respected. If you go to possibly the 30-minute, you can see right here, it also traded into this last up candle before this down move, which is going to be our breaker block, in which it traded into before trading higher. Ideally, you don't need to have this marked out because you're not expecting price to come back to this area. But overall, I'm expecting, if this is actually what I did on Friday, if you guys want to look at the NFP video, this will be possibly the low of the day. In this case, it was the low of the day, but mind you, when I'm waking up in the morning, I don't know if this low is going to be taken out or not. I don't know if it's going to hold. But the second thing I would do is then I map out if I find the possible lower high of the day made during that London session, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start pulling any of my fibs. I'm going to be looking for any potential fib setups. So right here, I'm going to pull it from that low that I'm anticipating is the low of the day to the high in which price is currently at as of right now. Because like I said, when I wake up at 8 in the morning, price could either keep going higher and then drop, or and just in this point in time, in this example, this is where price is, and this is the high it's making as of right now. So I'll pull my fib. And as you can see, we already have multiple confirmations in this general area for why price could have a possible reaction or possible retracement to it. Why? Because we have the 12 a.m. open, which ideally will give us a good buy scenario if we do retrace to it. And then we also have the fib long. And the last confirmation in this area, which is something you should already did, but I didn't do it in this video, you would want the 50% of the Asian range marked. That is what you want to do in step 1, but I actually forgot it. And then what do you see? In this general area, there's a lot of confirmation for why price should likely have a retracement. So in my eyes, what I simply would have done is now, on step 5, I would have been looking for potential order blocks. High probability. High probability. If you don't know what high probability order blocks are, high probability order blocks are basically order blocks that lie below or above liquidity, and they also are higher time frame order blocks. And when the higher time frame order blocks, the likelihood of these order blocks being held are going to be far more likely than unlikely. So you're going to look for any high probability order blocks. So we're going to go to the 1 hour. We see that we have a 1 hour order block right here. We're going to go to the 4 hour. 4 hour. We don't really have any order blocks. So the only high probability order block we have is right here on the 1 hour, which is where in this general area in which price was at. Right here. So now we mapped out an area with multiple confirmations. We have our 1 hour order block. We also have our fib long. We also have our 50% of the Asian range. Plus, we have the 12 a.m. open. So there's a lot of reason for why I would believe price is going to have a possible. What's going on, guys? So before you keep on watching the video, I just wanted to tell you guys about this opportunity that I have for you guys. So as of recently, I have been getting a lot of questions and comments and concerns about whether or not I do one-on-one mentorship. I personally do not do one-on-one mentorship, but I do have mentorship now, which I decided because you guys have been asking for it for a while now. So what will I be providing? I will be providing daily live stream access and mentorship every single day, where I will teach you everything that I know and I will guide you from zero to hero. And along with that, I will be giving you live trade analysis, and you will know all of my trades taken live real time. So with that being said, the price of it right now is $100 a month, but the price is not going to be like that for long. After the first 100 people join, I will be having the price go up. So make sure you take advantage while you can. And now you can finish watching the video. Reaction in this area and price. And then the last thing you would do is mark up your liquidity zones. And if you don't know what liquidity is just the stops and orders that lie above highs and below lows. It's as simple as that. That's the simplest way. There's more in depth to it, and just being able to identify it. But this is all you want to do. Previous highs, previous lows, and previous day high and previous day low. Those are the ones that I mark. So in this case, I'm not going to mark this second one right here. Why? Because we have the previous day's high right up here. And like I said, and if you guys watch my videos on a daily basis, you'll understand why I mark up these previous day's highs and previous day's lows. Because ideally, if price is going to be bullish, it's going to target the previous day's high. And if price is going to be bearish, it's more than likely going to target the previous day's low. So if in this point in time, using the 6 steps that I gave you guys, what would I be doing? I would simply be waiting for price and time to match. So if I see price trade lower at around 9 o'clock to 9:30, I would be expecting a possible reversal in price to the top side to retrace to then go higher. But let's say in this case in time, price ended up pushing higher before trading lower. There's still stuff that happened, but overall, I know that this general area is a high probability area, and I know that I want to be taking my trade on the buy side in this area. Why? Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 confirmations off rip. Then we also have this 36-100 area, which is another area, another confirmation in which for why price should likely have that reaction you want to see. There's a lot of reason why price should have had this reaction. And in this case in time, this didn't work out, but it was NFP. So I wouldn't really count this into consideration. But follow these 6 steps, guys. These are what I look for on a daily basis. The first thing I do is I always mark up the Asian range. The second thing I do is I always mark up the 12 a.m. open. And the next thing I do, I look at what happened during the London session. I see if the London session had a false break below an old low or old high. And if it did, then I already know that that's potentially going to be the high or the low of the day. Doesn't mean it's going to, but I know that there's a high probability that if it had a false break below an old low or an old high, that there's a high probability that that will be the high or the low of the day. And once you know where the high or the low of the day is, you can then pull your fib from that low or the high of the day that you're anticipating to another high or low in which New York session makes. Then you're simply going to wait for a pullback to a high probability area, and which is this area right here. And then you're going to see where price goes. And this is what I do on a daily basis. If you guys watch my live streams, you see me do the same thing every day, and I'm able to catch winning trades. And a trade setup like this, in this case scenario where everything maps out, would be a high probability bread and butter setup in which I would look to take every single day if I see it. But these trades don't happen every single day. But if you map out all of these things, you're going to be able to map out high probability areas every single day that you could likely find opportunities off of. It doesn't mean that it's always going to play out, but when you know where to look for your trade, you don't need to be hopping in when you don't want to. When you map out a high probability trade, take that high probability trade and only that high probability trade. It's going to keep you disciplined. It's going to keep you taking less trades, and it's going to keep you more consistent. And you're going to gain more consistency in the trade strategy. I've been trading the same way for a long time now. And as you can see, if I go to my daily ranges, these are all daily ranges and screenshots of every day and every week of the same setups I'm looking for. I have journals looking for the same types of setups. If you see setup type, I only have 4 setups I look for: the London continuation bullish, the London continuation bearish, and the New York reversal bullish and New York reversal bearish. And if you want to know more in depth on how I trade those setups, I have videos strictly explaining those setups, so make sure you check those out. But this is really it. This is a simple video on just a guide that you should use every single morning if you want to trade like me. I don't teach you guys how to trade. I teach you how I trade and what works for me. If this works for me, there's no reason why it couldn't work for you. You might not like it, but it could still work for you. You might like it and it not work for you. Everyone's different. Everyone has different personalities. But for me personally, this is what works. So I'm going to show you guys what works for me. And it could also work for someone else also. So this is simply what I do on a daily basis, and something that you guys can also do on a daily basis to map out high probability trades. So I'm going to end this video here. It was nice and quick and simple. I just wanted to get this video out here for you guys. And I'm not going to lie, I'm needing more video ideas because I'm running out of things to make videos on personally. I might take a break from YouTube for a little bit just to get more creative, get more video types, get more ideas, brainstorm, to get a whole bunch of stuff. And I have other things to work on too. But make sure you comment any video ideas you would like to see, because I'm open to all ideas. I just want to help you guys become the better traders and just overall just keep elevating. And I like making these videos, but when I don't have that many ideas and I continue to make the same things, it's not as fun. But yeah, so hopefully you guys like this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to fear being average. Be motivated by the fear being average. And I will see you guys in the next video.